Hello, welcome to my 9-week update. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about how this week went. So, first things first, what went really well? I did pretty good for activity. I'm pretty sure I hit like 10,000 steps every day, which is great. I also, on last Saturday, walked 10,000 meters, so 10 kilometers, which was about 15, just under 16,000 steps, which was definitely a bit of a challenge, but I wanted to do it because Obese to Beast was running a 10K in support of the Kiala Foundation, which helps kids in Kauai, and I will probably have a link to them down below so you can find out more. And so I was kind of inspired by that, and I was like, well, I'm going to walk 10 kilometers because I haven't run in like years, so I couldn't run a 10K, but I thought I would walk 10K just as like an inspired and to like help raise a little bit of awareness. I posted about it on my Instagram and stuff. And yeah, so that was fun. So that was pretty active. And I took about an hour walk outside today. It's Thursday, just after I had my lunch. I went for a walk for about an hour outside and took some footage that I may or may not edit in of like me walking in the leaves and of some of like the trees and stuff, and it was a really nice walk. And that means that I kind of was planning on taking a rest day today, and I still ended up doing like 11,000 steps. So what? That's pretty cool. So exercise wise, I did great. Food wise, I did pretty well too. I tracked my food pretty much every day except for today, because today I did a treat day because it's my birthday. So you're gonna see this on the day after my birthday, and it's gonna be belated. I'm sorry I didn't tell you before, so you get well wishes, but I got a lot of really cool well wishes from people, especially some of my new friends from Discord. You guys are great, and I think you're great. Anyways, so today, because of that, I did like a little treat day, and I got some cool vegan food that I have shared some of on Instagram, and the rest of it is going to be part of a secret project that will happen later. And yeah, it was really cool because I got food from places that are very much just single location places, so there was no like nutritional information. So I was like, this is going to be a test of like just like trying to eat reasonable sort of portions and listening to my satiety symbols, and also not worrying if I don't know exactly what the nutrition is of the food I eat. And it went really well. I plugged in some really rough estimates into Chronometer of like, this is kind of what I ate, sort of, maybe, but not really. Chronometer thinks I ate at probably about maintenance, so I don't know, but I wasn't really worried. I like I said, I plugged some really rough estimates into Chronometer of what I kind of planned to eat because I looked at menus beforehand, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna eat this. I have no idea how many calories that is, but yeah, I ate to satiety. I didn't finish everything that I got to eat, which was really interesting because, like I said, it was going to be a practice run in listening to my satiety my satiety signals. That's pretty cool that, yeah, I've got some leftovers because I just naturally was like, all right, that was enough food. I feel full now. And I'm pretty excited by how much of a success today was from a mentality standpoint of just doing sort of my best to balance eating and just enjoying it, as well as eating sort of a reasonable amount. And so that is super freaking cool, and I'm super proud of myself, and I'm super pumped to like keep going on this journey because I have this real success under my belt. And compared to any other time that I have tried to like be reasonable while eating sort of like restaurant food that tends to be very like calorically dense and stuff. It's either being, I can be reasonable, but I feel like physically not well, like I'm unsatisfied and unsatiated and I'm tired. Like 5 years ago, my birthday was also on a Thursday anyways, and I ate very little early in the day because I was going to have a restaurant meal and a cake, and I really enjoyed the restaurant meal and the piece of cake, but I like crashed mid-afternoon and I like just could not do anything, and I had to take a nap because I had undereaten in the morning to try and like make sure I stuck to my calorie goal, instead of just being like, okay, it's whatever, I'm gonna eat sort of normally and have this like little bit of extra and then deal with that over like the whole next week, just eat like a tiny bit less or just not, and cool, it's 300 extra calories, right? And I remember agonizing over like restaurant menus and being like, but how many calories is it? And like today just being like, okay, that looks good. Yeah, it's probably pretty high calorie, but it's tasty and it's filling, and oh, hey, turns out I am filled before I finish eating it. I just naturally am like, I know how much I've eaten. So I had a good week overall. Okay, so I have one more thing I want to talk about. I was initially going to wait until my 3-month in update to talk about this, but I hit a cool number thing, so I'm going to talk about it now. And I know that some people don't really like hearing about numbers of like weight loss numbers or like calorie intake numbers or any of that sort of stuff. So if you feel like hearing about someone else's like numbers part of their journey is not the best for you, there's going to be a timestamp. This is what time you can skip to, and there will also be a timestamp link to it in the description. So if you want to skip number talk, go to this time. So one more really cool thing that happened this week is I touched down in Wonderland. I'm not saying I have landed in Wonderland. I'm not officially in Wonderland because how I'm tracking my weight is using an app called Libra for Android. There's a similar app called Happy Scale for iOS, and basically what it does is it takes a, in my case, 7-day rolling average. You can set it to however many days you want, but for me it's a 7-day rolling average of weight, and that's what I use to actually track my like weight loss progress. So if my 7-day rolling average has only dropped by like 2 pounds or whatever, then I've lost 2 pounds, even if like my raw scale weight has changed by 3 or 1 or whatever, right? So my Libra weight trend is still above 200, but 3 days this week I've been under 200. So that's why I say I've touched down in Wonderland. If I was on a plane, it's done that first like bounce and then another bounce, and it's kind of about to be cruising down the runway, landing in Wonderland. So that's really cool. And that does though mean that I have lost almost like 17 pounds, and it's been just over 2 months since I started this whole thing. I started on July 29th. Now I know some of that is initial water drop, like as you start to eat in a deficit, you're going to be carrying less water, even if you're eating relatively high carb like I am. Carbs do hold more water, so then you're not going to experience such a dramatic water drop as if you do something like go low carb and like deplete your glycogen, but you do drop some water initially on any sort of like calorie deficit, as far as I understand. So I do want to talk about the numbers about what I'm eating, just so that if anyone's like, wait a second, doing the math, you lost 17 pounds in 2 months, that's like 8 pounds a month, that's a pretty steep deficit, Dee, what are you doing? I am eating, and I am trying to eat between 1,800 and 2,000 calories a day. It's mostly just that I have a pretty active job because I am a custodian. That is a physically active job. And because I don't sit still, that I think my deficit is so high. I'm not personally concerned. I'm going to keep trying to eat around the amount that I am because it feels very satisfying and very doable. If I keep losing at this kind of fast rate, I may start trying to like up it and go towards the 2000 end. I just wanted to assure everyone, I know that I'm eating at apparently a pretty steep deficit, but I don't feel like I'm under eating. I am eating enough. I'm just apparently in a very effective deficit because I can't sit still. And I'm not stressing it too much, which is, obviously if you've been watching all along, you know that I'm doing this as like a mental journey way more than the physical journey. I just wanted to assure people who are interested in the numbers that, hey, I had a cool number, and also, hey, I am doing this in a very sensible, very aware fashion where I am not telling you that I'm doing really well mentally, but meanwhile, like severely under eating. So yeah. Okay, welcome back, anyone who didn't want to talk about numbers. I hope that you still enjoyed the parts of this video you did see. And I think going into this new month and this new week, I want to continue working on taking things a day at a time. I had a comment on my last week's video talking about how every day is like a victory, and I've had a few comments in other areas where I've been sharing like my X number of days, weeks, months binge-free updates where they're like, man, even a day is great, you're doing so great. And I'm like, yeah, so I want to just continue to remember to take things a day at a time, and so that every day is a win and every day is a victory, and it's a own victory. It doesn't matter whether it's one victory following a bad day or if it's one victory out of like 100 good days. It's just as good of a victory either way, so that anytime I have a bad day, it doesn't like undo all of the other good days that I've already had, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's my main focus for the next sort of period of time, is just one day at a time, taking it as it comes and remembering to do that, because I am getting into that sort of time period of not having binged for a long time, where every single day seems to add less and less time to my overall binge-free streak, but that does not mean every single day is not just as important and just as valuable and just as successful for every day that I continue to manage my thoughts and use my coping skills and avoid or mitigate like binge behavior and binge thinking and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so that was my week, and that's what I'm hoping going forward. And I will probably have a video on Tuesday, cross fingers. Hopefully I will do something like Megan Ann has done, some cook with me videos. I'm going to show you either making like seitan ginger beef or making whole wheat bread. I haven't decided. I have to make both of those this weekend, so I will film one of them, and that will be my video on Tuesday. And other than that, it's gonna be double-digit weeks next week, so it'll be my 10th update and my 10th week of making these cool videos, and I look forward to seeing you then. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any thoughts about how my week went, or how my like treat day went, or any thoughts about how you handle treat days, or anything at all, comment down below. I love seeing your comments. I have an Instagram that I post to almost every day. I try and post something that I've eaten, or like some sort of exercise thing. It might be just in a story where I'm talking about how I'm feeling, but I try and put like something on there every day. So follow that if you want. And if you are new here, welcome, and I hope you decide to stick around. And if you do, I would love it if you gave a subscribe and maybe hit the notification bell, which apparently tells other people that you like my video. Apparently, it tells the algorithm to share me to more people. So, yeah, ring the notification bell so the algorithm decides it likes me. if I get to 100 subscribers, I can have a custom URL instead of my like 50 random letters and numbers. So yeah. Anyway, I will see you probably on Tuesday, but definitely next Friday. Bye!